Hello there. This is your host, Moron, speaking with another public service announcement. We have fucked up again. Yes, indeed, this episode that you are about to hear was recorded on the same day as last week's episode. Unfortunately, we were just not smart enough to realize the problem before recording the second episode, and so for 2 weeks in a row, you get this shitty audio that you are about to hear. We at Morons Make Sense would like to apologize for our continued error. And we can assure you that our producer Noel Rodriguez has been publicly flogged, tarred, and or feathered. Without further ado, then, enjoy a new episode of Morons Make Sense.
What did you expect? Welcome, Sonny. Make yourself at home. Marry my daughter. You've got to remember that these are just simple farmers. These are people of the land. The common clay of the New West. You know. Morons.
And welcome to Morons Make Sense. I am your host, Moron San Munoz, and I'm here with my fellow morons, Ublester Peñalosa II and Akam. I used to be Black Arturo.
What do you mean, you people?
Because today we're talking about a very, very controversial
I don't even
topic.
think it's controversial. It's passion. A lot of people are passionate about this topic.
Yeah,
I don't think there's controversy.
Not a controversy?
I don't think so.
No,
So the
not
topic
personal.
is ethnic representation and race swapping.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
In movies, to elaborate.
Yeah, in media.
In
media,
entertainment,
movies,
I would
yes.
say, yeah,
There
because
you
it's
go.
happening in
Yeah.
all kinds of media things.
I will say Disney is huge on this one because it seems like a lot of this
It has to do with Disney.
comes from Disney.
Well, I mean, and we'll get to that because I have that as a note. Like, and I want to first build into the ethnic representation.
You have notes?
Yeah, I do actually.
That's
That
is against our policy.
It is
What
against
the-
the policy.
Right.
This is something that I've had in my mind for a long time.
You're making
I
us
brought
look
this-
like morons.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I had it in my mind for a good while. I've been wanting to talk and have a real discussion about this with people. And, I
What do
figured...
you mean, you people?
Well,
Sorry,
people,
sorry.
not you people.
Oh, I thought you
Like,
said
that's
you
going to
people.
happen a lot.
Yes.
And I figured this was an interesting platform to do it on. Sam, you love the idea of having something that could...
I think this topic is very interesting, and
You even said you were proud of me for the suggestion.
yeah, because you usually suggest like, oh, I want to do.
Let's talk about how great movies are.
Yeah, no. Which they are great, by the way.
Agreed.
But yeah,
But
this one was.
I guess because The Little Mermaid at the time that you are watching this is probably coming out this weekend, I believe,
Yes.
and that was another Disney movie that stirred up the conversation
Yeah.
again because, as you know, Ariel.
But see, that's the thing. Like, before we get into the race swapping, though, I do want to bring up the idea of ethnic representation as a whole. So,
Well, I think I think they're kind of linked, and I mean,
Well, they are.
Yeah. So
because I believe race swapping is done to try to get a quota for ethnic representation, which I want to bring that up first.
Interesting.
So, ethnic representation as a whole is when we see people of color, different ethnicities, basically every non-white person being shown on movies, media, TV, whatever.
Yeah.
And by non-white, we usually mean like because there's Latinos who are white. Two examples
That's true.
right here.
It's not necessarily white.
What about me? I'm white.
You're not white.
No, pues no.
Well,
mames.
they still made you fill out the white section on the race portion.
Yeah.
And then are you a Hispanic or a Latino? And then you have to say yes.
Yeah, no, I say I write in nopal. I X that.
The other? Nopal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good point. Like, not like I said white skin, but like...
It's really like Caucasian,
Yeah.
European white. Is what
Exactly.
they,
And then
yeah, because if you haven't...
that's inaccurate too, technically, and where the Caucasian term comes from.
I don't
and this
fucking
and
know.
that.
I just know it's got
But-
the word cock in it, so that's why I like saying it. But
Yeah.
Naturally. But yeah, I mean, that's where this all kind of stems from. And like, we've seen a lot of it happen over the years. And you see when I feel like you can tell when we need a token character. And they shove them in and everything's written around that character sometimes. And then I have an example that I really, you have talked about doing a separate episode on this, and I would love to do one. But Power Rangers. Power Rangers. Yes,
the Black Ranger was the black guy.
The races matched their colors.
Asian girl was
but
the yellow ranger.
You had a team of people that were all different races.
Yeah.
But then no extra attention
and
was also
apparently
like
sexual orientations. Apparently.
We'll get
that came later.
Yeah, that came later. But there was no Trini, like, do you have any Chinese foods you might suggest? There was nothing of that where it was like overtly. They just happened to be outside of the color matching, which is a separate thing.
Yeah, ignoring
but
that part.
So there was that for a good while, but then I felt like within the last couple of years, there's been like an emphasis on like, there needs to be characters that are non-white, and I started noticing it when watching the Vampire Diaries in 2009. That I caught on
Weird
to
reference.
they're the three main characters of like the girls, the female main characters. It's two white girls, although one could be Hispanic, and then a black girl. Even though the character in the book is redhead.
It's based on books?
It's based on books.
Holy shit.
And then I caught on. All of a sudden, I realized every time there was a show with at least three main characters, one of them had to be ethnic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just so since 2009, this has been in my mind and seeing how it permeates and seeing like. That
Saved by the Bell.
Well, Slater.
Thinking out loud.
Yeah, and I mean, Mario Lopez, but then was he always established Latino? And then like just things like that. And
it was AC Slater, right?
Yeah.
AC. Antonio Christian Slater.
Was it?
No,
I don't know.
For reals? Wow.
Well, because like even like that thing that has happened where we have Latino actors who are passing white play white roles. And no additional attention is brought to the fact that could they or not be ethnic.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were putting on whiteface, I guess you could say.
Wow.
AC Slater was.
Yeah.
What?
He's more brown.
That's permitted, apparently.
I mean,
but no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. And I honestly, I never really paid attention to that.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Okay,
here's
go ahead.
the thing. When I watched Saved by the Bell, like it didn't really register. Like it was just Lisa's black, AC Slater. It doesn't look like
adult-looking teenagers.
Yeah.
It's like it's just like teenagers, whatever. Like and so I'm not for the race swapping, but I am for the increased ethnic representation. Yeah. And here's my gripe with it is
real quick if I may, because you both mentioned that you don't have like you never really noticed it growing up.
Yeah.
Would you chalk that up to like the way you were raised, maybe, or the things that around you? Like just me personally, the reason why I always noticed this is because like the elementary school I went to, I was like one of 3 Latino kids.
Oh, that'll do it.
And then I met CJ in 5th grade, and he was the only black kid in that school. When I lived on like the border of like district lines and got sent to the other schools, even though we grew up across the train tracks. So I was always so aware of people that look different than I did.
Did you hang out with the other 2 Mexican kids?
I did.
You guys were the 3 amigos?
I mean, yeah.
Bringing it back to the Power Rangers, because that came out when we were kids, and it never registered to me either that the black guy was the Black Ranger, and that was kind of weird.
The color thing never.
Or the Asian girl was the Yellow Ranger. And so it makes me feel like there was no racism there or whatever. It's just people brought that in because like, hey, so it wasn't until later on that someone brought it up to me. Oh, did you notice that the black guy was the Black Ranger? Isn't that racist? And I was like, I know, I didn't really. That you just fucking made that up. You just made me aware of that.
Made me racist.
He just happened to be the Black Ranger and whatever.
Forced your racism on me.
Yeah, you forced your racism on me, and now it's like it's there. God damn it! Before I was like the innocent, and you ruined it with you having to bring up the racism and making it. They make it a significant thing when it wasn't. It wasn't significant. Like it didn't matter to me.
So let me ask you this now: would it change things for you if you found out that it was on purpose? Like if you were like, oh, I never even noticed it. I don't give a shit. Yeah. But then you found out years later that the director was like, yeah, we totally fucking made the black guy the Black Ranger because he's black. Would you be like, oh?
I still don't know if it was
well, then
or not.
That's a different story.
Yeah. Because I'm currently rewatching the first season. The original, the Mighty Morphin. It's like 3 seasons.
It's amazing how we started this very serious conversation with the Power Rangers.
I mean, well, because
If there's any better representation, I'd like to hear of it. You know.
I mean, yeah. So
granted, Star
I'm
Trek
waiting
was the Pink Ranger.
I'm waiting to
sexist.
finish it, and then I'm gonna go back and do my research and my trivia to see whether or not. Like,
are you just doing the original Power Rangers, or are you going into Power Rangers Turbo and Ninja
I'm stopping,
Magnifier?
I'm planning on stopping Magnifier.
I don't know, man. I just made up those last two.
I'm planning on stopping after Mighty Morphin.
Okay.
Like basically, like I think it's 3 seasons. Yeah, I know some of the actors get switched out at half point. Kimberly leaves, which broke my heart as a kid.
Which, by the way, I saw that new movie of the Power Rangers.
On the commercial.
On Netflix.
Oh, the special.
You actually saw it?
It's a special.
I saw
I'm
it.
the only one that hasn't seen
Holy
it.
crap, it was bad. Holy crap.
Maybe we should do an
I
episode.
I know. I want to save this for the Power
I
Rangers
couldn't
episode.
get through it, man.
We're gonna do a
Really? I stopped.
Dude, it was like 40 minutes.
I know. It was that bad.
40 minutes.
It was that. I tried to be like they're
No,
making it bad on
save
purpose.
it.
Do
But
Vulcans
let's
go make it? Do Vulcans go make it? Just tell me that. Do Vulcans
They're
go make
referenced in it.
it? They don't
alive.
actually make it?
They're on a billboard.
What the fuck?
again.
Okay.
We're talking
So,
about
okay,
race swapping,
bring it
ethnic
back,
representation,
bring
and
it back.
Power
Yeah,
Rangers is taking
sorry.
over.
So Latinos and ethnic on movies and stuff, I guess.
Well, here's one thing I want to say,
Yes.
going with the race swapping. I don't understand why they think, and I don't know who they are. Maybe it's the studios, Disney, or whatever,
Illuminati.
or even the people who want more ethnic representation. Why anybody would think that going back to old characters who were white or whatever and changing the race is the way to go. I prefer increasing ethnic representation by creating new characters who happen to be Latino or Black or Asian or whatever, like Andor or Rogue One, where just that character just happens to be played by a Latino actor, and it's a new character. I'd rather have that than going
100%.
back and changing Ariel to a black character and being like, oh, look at how great we did, like we changed. Like, no, I think it would have been more impactful if you created a new character that has its own history and it's always been either a black character or an Asian character, Latino character, and that's how they identify this character as being, and that becomes this sort of thing for that ethnicity or that race, whatever, to identify with. Like Black Panther is a great character, and he just happens to be a black character. I mean, he's an African character, so he's gonna be black. It happens to be an African.
South African Black Panther,
and it's great. Like, you don't have to go back and change whatever Wolverine into a black character or Batman into a black character. Just make up a new hero, who just happens to be black. So that's the way I feel about this whole thing. Like, I think it's like forcing it onto us. Like, oh, Ariel has to be a black character now. It's like, fucking A.
How do you feel about it? Yeah.
So I'm sort of in between because I agree with you, Sam. Don't rely on race swapping well-known characters.
It also makes
just for the sake of meeting your quota or showing the audience that you are representing other cultures. Like, no, make your own, write new ones, create new ones that are of this ethnic representation. But on the same note, I also feel like if you take a character that is already fictional and whose race was never established in the first place, and you just happen to hire an actor or use an actress that is of a different race, I don't like people arguing are like, oh, fucking this fictional character which is made.
Ariel is established as a white girl with red hair.
That's really
in The Little
interesting,
Mermaid.
though, because like, hold on, then that goes into two different points. It's like, as if like when you're adapting from a source material, then where's the cognizant choice of like, you know what, this character we're gonna change, or is it because that's where I kind of fall under in the idea of like, did you look at all actresses for this role, or did you specifically go after what's particular? That's my thing.
Absolutely,
so
you're right.
When the Batman was coming out, and there was all the talk about casting and this and that, and at some point they were discussing a lot about Catwoman. Apparently, at one point Vanessa Hudgens was attached. But here's the thing that I started hearing a lot. Is that they were specifically only looking at women of color.
Oh,
they were only specifically looking at black women.
That's not
And then
fair.
all of a sudden, for me, I got pissed because then it felt like it was very. They just wanted to fill a quota.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: Catwoman is Cuban. It's established in the comics. She is Latina.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't often see that in the representation of her because she's always looked very white, which, it is what it is.
There has been black representation in the original, the 60s Batman.
Exactly. Yeah, and there has been.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when I heard that that's all they were doing, I'm like, oh, you're choosing to try to fill in an ethnic representation quota thing, whatever have you.
You're forcing
but your character is already a different ethnicity. Now you're just forcing it.
Yeah.
But then later on, there was more reveal about who was, they did open it up to all races. Apparently, Eiza Gonzalez was one of the last runners. So then, okay, I'm cool. But when you hear it that way, when it's not open to everyone, you're not looking at everyone, and you're just trying to fill something in.
Right.
That's what pisses me off.
So and I think at the end of the day, because I honestly, and to put it sensitively, I don't give a shit. But ultimately, when the positive of doing this is a small child,
dude, that's exactly what I was gonna get to.
Who maybe doesn't get that opportunity to see herself all too often in movies or cartoons or dolls or TV shows, and now she sees someone on TV that looks like her.
100%.
That's great. I still feel like with Encanto, for example, Encanto was an original character,
exactly,
original story. They didn't rely on let's take this old story that's existed for decades and just switch the race. That way, little kids can see now that they have representation, but we've created this new character, and little girls look at the TV screen and say, wow, she looks just like me. That's fucking awesome. Representation, confidence boost.
Can I say something? Because I agree with you on that, but I think that should be done with new characters, new stories.
Right.
Because if you go back and just race swap a character that was white, you're still, it's almost like a weak sort of you're still relying on a character or a story that is of a white origin, and you're not giving the people something new that comes out from them.
Yes,
that's real ethnic representation. Real go for it.
I'm chomping at the bit because I completely agree. Because here's the thing: when I see a character that is race swapped to Latino, or what pisses me off, when they do the passing of the mantle. And then now it's this new character, different ethnicity or different gender, but then they still have the same name as the prior character, whether it be Wolverine or this or that or whatever, or what have you. And it's not done organically. You are telling me now that if you were to create a brand new character that was this ethnicity, it doesn't matter. You have to attach the name of a legacy of something else for me to matter.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I hate that.
Exactly, and I don't see how you can be proud as a black person and see Ariel they had to attach the history of this character who happens to be white in order for that to matter. Why not create something new with a black character?
I see what you're saying.
I'm guessing that's that's how I interpreted what you were saying.
To me, it feels like I'm not worth having a unique character on stand on its own. However, even though I'm not a fan of race swapping, and if you have something that's already pre-established, keep it pre-established. Do something new with something different. But seeing kids see someone that looks like themselves, even though I'm not a fan of having to swipe the race in the first place, but seeing little girls light up for the new Little Mermaid. I was at Disney not too long ago, and I saw a group of girls of different ethnicities run up to the Little Mermaid merch, the new Little Mermaid merch, and just be excited.
Yeah.
That to me ends up trumping everything.
Right. Yeah.
I hate using that as a verb.
I just feel
I agree with you. They're going to give a shit.
Yeah.
They're going to be. Here's the thing:
it's making fucking kids. The people that I see getting bent out of shape. The people that I see getting bent out of shape. I'm not seeing any 6-year-old little girl coming over here and saying, "This is bullshit." I'm used to the white cartoon Little Mermaid, and now I gotta share.
But again,
always these fucking adults.
But again,
mermaid shouldn't be black, and it's mermaid is fictional though.
They come out with the fucking science. Actually, their skin pigmentation wouldn't actually
there wouldn't be melanin underneath the
glasses.
And it's fucking, are you serious, dude?
But at the same, hold on. At the same, I'm using your same argument. Kids don't care. So those kids would still be happy. Would still be happy if it was a white area or a black area or a Mexican area or whatever. And that's what I'm trying to say. Instead of going back and doing Ariel black, create a new character like Miguel from Coco or the chick from Encanto or like all the different characters.
The Chihuahua from Airbud.
Or Chihuahua from Airbud.
That's the thing too.
That they will also be happy to see that. People are happy to when Miguel from Coco comes out in Disney.
I think the biggest one was Ant-Man. Ricardo, what's his name? In Ant-Man, remember? Luis.
Yeah.
No, what's his name? Luis in
the movies, yeah.
He's like, we're at a wine tasting.
Yeah.
And my friend, and he comes up with this. That guy was the latest, I think the MCU original character. Funny, stands out.
Well, for the longest time, he was the MCU's only Latino character.
He was, yeah.
For fucking years.
For years, he was the only one.
And there's only...
no, there was the guy who was cleaning up Tony Stark's house in part 1. He's the custodian. He was out doing the yard. Very briefly, you see him. He's mowing the lawn.
Like a main character.
I wait.
Iron Man. Even then, like a main character. Look how long it took. And all we got was Luis. Like, it wasn't until America Chavez that we got a superhero within the MCU.
That's right.
And if you look at actually superheroes now, that are Latino, there are very few far in between. And if they are, they're always side characters. Yeah. Like, even though it's kind of wild that it's happening, but the upcoming Sony Marvel movies about El Muerto, a Spider-Man villain that only existed for like 2 issues, that's now being played by Bad Bunny.
Oh my God.
Wait, I'm sorry. I think you've been drinking too much, Arturo.
No, this is a thing.
It sounds like you just said.
I want that to be race swapped with like another one.
Good Bunny.
Some other
Good Bunny.
Good Bunny.
No, El Muerto. It's a thing that's happening, but that's gonna be our first time we get a Latino leading role in a superhero film. Yeah. Well, sorry, actually, Blue Beetle this summer.
Oh yeah, Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the argument when people say, okay, we're gonna start race swapping the white actors to black actors? How pissed off would people be if they race swapped Black Panther into a white actor? Wouldn't that culture be like, hey, motherfucker, that's a black character.
I agree.
You can't put a white character. So when people are you're telling like, you know, all these fucking people are getting pissed off. If it happened the other way around, they would be pissed off too. So there is a hypocrisy there.
White character. Nicole Kidman is Harriet Tubman.
Imagine that shit.
Like, what?
Imagine that kind of shit. I mean, but that's a real person.
This winter, Ryan Gosling is Martin Luther King. I have a dream.
I feel like I saw a fan edit poster of that before. It was? Yeah.
It was on I think I saw it on Reddit, but it was a bunch of different posters, and it was like they took it even beyond that to movies with like animals. It was like fucking dolphin plays fucking Free Willy, you know? It was just one of those. Yeah.
Like bringing it back a little bit to Disney, like I am actually like I said, out of the joy I'm seeing everyone bring to the Little Mermaid, okay, that's cool. I'm cool with it. I like it. I'm seeing a lot of hype for it. What annoys me though about Disney is I feel like they do a lot of it just so people can complain, and then them being on like being high and mighty at the end of like, oh no, you're just racist. But then like for example, there is an upcoming show,
and it also makes it difficult. Like it makes it difficult to even critique a movie anymore because if you don't like The Little Mermaid, like people might be like, oh, you just didn't like that. It was a black character this time.
Like, and that's true. No, because like there is an upcoming show, a Disney Plus, Marvel. It's about Wonder Man, the Marvel comic book character who is white in the comics. He's going to be played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, who is awesome.
Who is this
He's
person?
An actor, Yahya Abdul-Mateen. He was in the new Candyman. He was in Aquaman.
Oh!
So, and he's a magnificent actor. But it's like, my question is like, why do you go all, like, as somebody pointed out, like if you wanted a character that looked like him, but you still wanted to fit in your ethnic quota, Henry Golding, who's Malaysian, he was in Crazy Rich Asians, he was in The Last Christmas. Like he looks like him when you put on the shades, but then you have an Asian character. Like, and why the need to keep like? Because they know when they cast them, they're gonna cause controversy.
You're racist.
You're racist. I love him as an actor. Am I gonna watch this the first fucking day? Of course. Is he gonna kill it? I'm sure he fucking is. Like my question is, why do they keep making these decisions
Yeah.
Unless they, again, I feel it's what we're talking about. Knowing the controversy is going to cause, it causes more hype for said show. And then at the end of the day, they also call out saying,
it might
you're
be
all
that
racist.
people talking.
It gets the people talking.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the thing too of like, you know, where, at the end of the day, to me, it's where is this coming from? Are you hiring the best possible person, or are you wanting to make a statement, or causing a reaction, or are you wanting to fill an ethnic quota?
I think they're trying to do both. They're trying to fill an ethnic quota and also hire the best person within that ethnic quota. Is what they're trying to do. But
I see it.
Producer has Nick Fury.
Well, Nick Fury is actually really interesting because this version of Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson. So what made people not realize, the first couple films of the MCU were not based on the regular Marvel Comics universe. They're all based on the Ultimate Marvel comic universe. Yeah. And in that version, Nick Fury is black.
Nick Fury.
And he looks just like Samuel L. Jackson.
No, they based that version on Samuel L. Jackson.
They did. They admitted to it after the fact.
How it closes, right?
Yeah. And so then this version is not necessarily race swap because his direct inspiration is a black character in the comics. But then that version in the comics has already been race swap.
So what if Disney came out and said, this is Little Mermaid from Ultimate Universe. This is...
Well, has there been an Ultimate Universe established already?
Yeah, in Beauty and the Beast. They hinted at it. They mentioned...
You know what was interesting? Bring up Beauty and the Beast. I recently went on a freaking Disney cruise.
Yeah, we all know you love Disney.
Awesome. How did that go?
We all know it.
Was it magical?
Not even I've gone on a Disney cruise.
It was not magical. But... we saw a show there because they have shows.
What about the memories that you made there? Were they magical?
Well, I'm about to give you one of these magical memories,
all right.
which is relevant to what we're talking about because we were seeing a show there, and Belle, who's a character in Beauty and the Beast, who is white in the original movie, in this show that we were watching, she came out and it was a black actress playing her, and
that was loud. Bless you.
That?
You're right.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, our producer over there,
he's allergic to bullshit. Go on, Sam.
But by the way, we're swapping him with a white guy next time. Anyways,
no longer Noel.
He's not gonna be Noel.
Played by who was it? Justin Hartley in the Noel movie, the Christmas one.
Now he's gonna have to find that.
Well, I sent it to everybody. Remember? I'm like, damn, they got somebody who looks just like you.
But anyways. There was a black actress who was playing Belle, and I just remember my wife telling me afterwards that when this actress came out as Belle, that she overheard an elderly couple say something about like they had to make her black or something like that. Which, I mean, and honestly, I was kind of thinking the same thing when she came out.
They had more balls than you.
But I didn't say it out loud.
The elderly company had more balls than you did.
Yeah, I was just like in my mind, like, of course they had to make her black. Because, that's what Disney does.
Ship.
And
cruise ship.
Ultimately, what I want to say is that ultimately it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it doesn't matter what the goddamn race is or whatever, whether Ariel's black or white. It doesn't fucking matter. The thing is that it's being forced so much that they make it seem like the skin color is so significant to making this thing matter and all this stuff. And it's just the point of all this is to understand that the skin color in the end is fucking completely arbitrary to who we are as human beings.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
And when we continually force it and say like you have to have a black person, you have to have this, you have to have that, and it makes skin color be this significant thing that we all have to worry about and
gives it weight
and judges and defines people as to who they are and things like that. And this is an idea that used to be like considered liberal, but now people consider it like sort of conservative. I don't know why, but to me it's like no, like your skin color doesn't define anything really, and I would rather not give a shit about whether one character is black or anything like that. Like it makes people like, oh, we have to give a shit now because
I feel you on that because in the same sense of like, because there's a difference because again these are fictional characters. Like in the real world, skin tone, where you come from, ethnicity, those things I feel, I used to very much think, oh, you can live your life colorblind. But that's the thing though, not everyone goes through the same shit and you have to be aware of that. That's different.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to be conscious of that in real life.
That's true.
Going back, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. But
again, these are fictional characters, though. Like we should be able to embrace it regardless.
we should embrace them regardless. Yeah.
And that's another thing that like it's really interesting to me is like because I've heard a lot of arguments like she's supposed to be a redhead. Technically, she is.
She is a redhead. They kept that. Why didn't they make her a brown head? I don't understand. No, she should have had black hair. Like, why does she have to have dreads?
That's what the awkwardness of people that like.
Bardem is fucking King Tyrion.
He's fucking King Triton. Wait, what's Tyrion?
He just spit all over our table, but yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I thought it was King Tyrion. This whole time I've been saying it.
No, yeah, I'm really hyped to see him as because now Ariel is now multi-ethnic.
Yeah,
Javier is
I had
she's
no
like
idea
special.
Ursula was Melissa McCarthy. Isn't she that comedian actress girl?
Yeah.
I had no idea it was actually her or that it was. Wow.
That's race swapping because I think in the cartoon she's like
an octopus,
gray or purple or something.
In the cartoon she's an octopus.
So we're upset we couldn't find a purple person.
I know, what the fuck?
Yeah,
that's fucked up, man.
I mean, that's a funny thing to like argue as well. Is the idea like of that
going the other way?
Purple, yeah. Purple and this and that. Like on a lighter note, I do want to point out something that I've noticed that is really kind of bizarre. Is there is so many gingers in fiction that when it comes to live action have been replaced by black actors.
Explain examples.
Iris in Wally West. Bonnie in the Vampire Diaries, Jimmy Olsen in the Supergirl, Starfire in Titans, Heimdall, Idris Elba played a red beard Heimdall, Alice in Hellboy, which is I want to go back to that, Mary Jane Watson in the Spider-Man movies, played by Zendaya. Now we have Ariel. So it's just been this interesting thing of why.
Can I interrupt you here? Because as a father of a ginger.
Oh, yes.
As a father of a ginger, my youngest son is a redheaded ginger. And I think that's fucking bullshit, man.
Yeah.
That is some gingerism is the only form of racism that is still allowed.
Very prominent.
Like areas, like people can just tell my son you have no soul, and everybody be like, yeah. And the gingers just have to take it.
Yeah.
Ginger should be going out there because ginger lives matter, and you should be demanding shades in all homes because the sun is too, is harsher on you. Like, why are nobody sensitive to these ginger skins? I mean, they fucking burn easily, for God's sakes.
Yeah,
it's just wrong. It's wrong.
Red-blooded, red-headed Americans.
And now we got black people playing ginger face, and it's goddamn bullshit.
Is your wife redhead?
No, she's not.
No.
She's not. You know my wife. She's your fucking cousin.
Connor O'Brien is. I'm just saying. I'm putting it out there. Connor O'Brien is a redhead.
Thing in Hollywood that's been like really like a really weird pattern.
You're pointing out. Yeah, you're right.
So many redhead
Hollywood is slowly trying to
get rid of gingers.
Redhead.
Like there's a theory that like it was the idea of like
Lucille Ball was played by Nicole Kidman, a blonde.
It's a ginger.
No, check this out. So there's a theory that it's fucked up if you think about it. So the reason why gingers existed a lot back in the days when they were creating these characters because they were the more oppressed. So hold on.
Yeah,
so
the Irish, man.
Now the modern take on replacing all the gingers with black people because then now they're the more oppressed. And like even that mentality of casting, like let's find someone more oppressed, that's fucked up.
Yeah. I think it is.
And it's this really weird pattern. And here's the thing
especially
I really wanted to bring
out. The gingers are being oppressed right now.
I mean, yeah, your son. I'm sorry.
Yes.
And that's the thing. I really want to talk about Hellboy in particular, the newest Hellboy, Alice. So she's a redhead in the comics, and she was played by a black actress in the film. She did great.
You're losing me. By the way, you're losing me on Hellboy. I haven't seen it.
Oh, well,
I didn't see the most recent one. I've seen the original.
Just this fact. Take that with you. So they cast a black actress. Fine, cool. She did great. All right. Here's the interesting thing. Originally, Ed Skrein, who was the villain in Deadpool, British guy, white.
Ed Skrein.
Ed Skrein.
Ed Skrein.
So he was cast as a Japanese character.
Ooh.
And there was immediate backlash all over the internet.
Of course.
He wasn't aware. I think he was just cast without auditioning. And then when he found out, he turned down the role.
Mm-hmm.
And said, I want someone to represent him that deserves to be represented. And then they did get a Japanese actor. But if you went all this way, all this trouble to faithfully adapt a Japanese character, only because after the fans got mad, why not do the same thing for your ginger character, your redhead character?
I would have been there fighting.
Like it's really interesting to like decide when and where these things are okay. Another thing, I think the last of these, the New Mutants. It's an X-Men movie. It was the very last one. So we have Anya Taylor-Joy, who is Argentinian and British. She's playing a Russian character. And then you have
Russians.
I'm missing her name. Arya, the actress of Arya in Game of Thrones, but she's English, and she plays a Scottish character. But then they went out of their way to find a Brazilian actor for the Brazilian character, Sunspot, and a Native American for the Native American character, Blue. Her name is Blue. That's her first name. Blue Hunt. But so they went out of their ways for those, but then they're like, oh well, these are white skinned. Let's just like why like. My thing is like, why don't you do the same thing for all the races?
Well, I think the defense on that is that those particular ethnicities have been historically oppressed and replaced in the past. Mm-hmm. So I get there's good intentions here. Mm-hmm.
Because, I'm glad they did that for the Brazilian and Native American characters. Yeah. I'm stoked. And I loved Anya as Magic, but like, why not do the same thing for the characters from European descendancy?
Yeah, like you gotta get a Scottish actor for a Scottish character.
Why didn't they just do that?
Because
they went out of their way. That's what I'm saying. Like Blue Hunt, her only acting credit before this movie was the Originals, the TV show, and she was on it for like a handful of episodes, like 3. So, but they really went out of their way for her, and I respect that and I love that. But then that's the thing within this movie that you have a character being multi-ethnicities. Why not do the same thing for your Russian character?
And again, it has to do with, I think, so all of this really is from the intention of trying to right a wrong in our past, right? In Hollywood and
overcompensating.
And you know, it's obviously true that in the past, these ethnicities, blacks, Native Americans, Latinos, were played by usually white actors. Like you rarely had.
Have you seen A Touch of Evil? With Charles Heston?
I haven't seen that, no.
He plays a Mexican.
Yeah, I mean, that happened a lot. Yeah, you would get white actors. Marlon Brando, I don't know if you know this about. He played an Asian character in some movie. And he's got the whole fucking eyes. And then you got, I think... the whole fucking eyes. Yeah, I'm sorry. That came out wrong. But what I meant to say... is that...
No, that's good.
Is that he did the whole, whatever.
I get you. But see,
so it's what's happening is they're trying to right a wrong, which was an obvious wrong and should be corrected. But I don't think, as going back to what I said originally, I think the way to do that is by creating new stories with these ethnicities, with these. Yep. So create these new heroes, new villains, and these instead of going back and taking things that white people created and trying to say, no, we're gonna take this character and put a black or a black person or a Latino person or anything like that. That's where I think you're not really helping the cause. You're kind of making it worse. I would rather them just be like, let's make something new and bring in, and they do that, and when they do that, it's great. And The Mandalorian is another one where you have a Latino actor playing the main character. Star Wars is doing really great with it.
I brought this up earlier.
And they're bringing new things.
Pedro Pascal, Oscar Isaac, Diego Luna, and now Rosario Dawson. We have Latino people at the forefront of this huge franchise.
Yeah, and there's great stories. Everything Everywhere All at Once, great movie from last year. Complete Asian cast. It won the fucking Oscar for Best Picture.
I loved it.
That's great. That's what I want to see. Mm-hmm. This whole race swapping of Belle for a black actress or Ariel for a black actor. To me, it's that doesn't really. In my opinion, it's why? How is that revolutionary? To me, it's whatever. Make something new. In my opinion, that's it.
No, dude. I feel like this is one of the things that we're seeing more eye on. Again, I'm not for race swapping, but when I see people get excited for a character of a different ethnicity, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and it's something I really want to bring up, which is why I think. Okay, so. The Fantastic Four films, Marvel comic superheroes, they've been adapted twice now with 2 different actors within the continuities. They're doing another one.
Are they sex swapping that one?
I don't know. There's been a lot of rumors. Hold on, we'll get to that. Hold on. We'll get to the new one. Hold on. We'll get to the new one. We'll get to the new one.
Oh yeah,
Wait. Back up. Okay. So the very first incarnation that we got on the big screen you had Jessica Alba playing Invisible Woman, which is fine.
Yeah,
She's great. She's awesome. She's half Mexican. And Chris Evans is her brother.
Who is a white man.
Who is the whitest guy ever. And I love Chris Evans.
Hey, maybe they had mixed parents.
And Jessica looks a lot more Mexican than she does French. But Chris just looks all white. I mean, yeah, they could possibly be siblings, I guess, in some worlds. So then
Have you seen my kids?
True. I know, yeah. And we've all remember biology class. We saw the white bunny and the black bunny. There's like 20 different versions. It's possible. It's possible. So that was already a thing within the first Fantastic Four. They cast a Latina actress as one of them. But here's what happened with the second film. Because in the comics, you have a family of all white people and friends. All white people. And your villain is white European. So in the next time they adapted it, they made Invisible Woman's brother, Human Torch, an adopted brother. And it was played by Michael B. Jordan. Who, in this case, I mean, he did great. The characters did great. The film wasn't that great. That's a different story.
What? Arturo is saying that the film wasn't that great.
It was
just good.
Great.
Just not that great.
Up until they got their superpowers. Before that, it was great.
I never watched it.
Up until they get their superpowers, it's good.
Oh.
And it just tanks.
Okay.
They tried something, you know? And then now I think the reason why Marvel's so has been so hesitant on the casting is because what do? Where do we shove in our ethnic character? Do we make him the villain? Oh no, we can't make him the villain because then our only person of color is the villain. So we need to shove him into the family. But how do we do that? But then that's the thing though. Like I feel like the general audience isn't dying for there needs to be a character.
They're not.
And if you wanted to do something where they're different backgrounds, make them British. You could easily. I mean, you're pretty sure John Krasinski is going to be Fantastic Four. Cast his wife Emily Blunt, who's British, as Invisible Woman. Have her brother also. I mean, I've seen a lot of those rumors as well. Have them be British or Australian or what have you. But then look, you have different. You don't have to keep shoving things in to make them work. But then the latest thing of shove things in to make them work is apparently the rumor is.
Showing
I feel like you guys both have more passion about this than I do.
Yeah, this guy's falling asleep over here.
I really am.
It's also 12:17 in the morning.
And I have to fucking work tomorrow. I got a mediation.
This is the last thing on that note is the fact that the latest rumor is The Thing is going to be played by none other than Mila Kunis.
Ooh.
That's the latest rumor.
That's a rumor.
I don't know.
So they're sex swapping him.
Apparently,
in the comics, they're not.
That's like a new thing. Now they're gonna start sex swapping things.
I mean, that's happened kind of, but always minor characters.
In the comics, there's a female Thing.
Oh, there is.
She ends up being like the cousin. She's like the cousin of the Thing.
All right, then. Well, that's not sex swapping. It's just gonna be a different thing.
If they say it's her, if they don't say it's the original Thing, or but she's now a girl. If they say it as
she's Ben Grimm.
Yeah, if they say, this is Ben Grimm's niece, who in the comics was also the Thing, and then she's just part of the Fantastic Four for whatever reason. I don't give a shit. Ultimately, sorry, I'm going to cut you guys both off because you guys have both been kind of running this one. Ultimately, I don't give a shit, man. I don't give a shit, dude. You want to make fucking Little Mermaid?
Oh, really? You don't give a shit? What if they do Lord of the Rings and Frodo is a woman?
That is fucking blasphemy.
Sam
Who's doing that?
Is a transsexual man.
You don't speak shit. Shut your mouth.
Who was a woman first?
Shut your mouth.
Gandalf.
Shut your mouth. Shut up. Shut your mouth.
And not only doing their fantasy character swapping, Gandalf's no longer a wizard. Now he's a warlord.
And then all the elves have short hair.
If they want to do it,
blasphemy.
Wow.
Ring of Powers. I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I'm sure you're gonna be like,
Power.
that's great. Yeah.
No, you know what? Ultimately, dude, I wouldn't give a shit. I'd be like, well, that's
if a
new generation like
bullshit.
that.
That's the bullshit.
So that's the irony, real quick, on Rings of Power. It wasn't the race swapping that bothered me. I didn't give a fuck. It was the fact that the elves that have short hair.
Elves have short hair. Yeah.
They can't have short hair.
No,
they can't cut their hair.
No, they can't.
Why?
They're long. I don't care what ethnicity they were.
They never cut their hair.
They didn't seem regal, ethereal, ageless.
The long hair makes it.
Don't give a shit. Don't give a shit.
But
that's hair swapping.
Ultimately, I guess finishing my thoughts on race swapping. Yeah. I don't necessarily feel like it needs to be done. Create new characters, but if at the end of the day,
do both. What I see characters and
I see done with race swapping and seeing little kids get excited for characters that look like them, I'm all fucking for that. So
I will say, I don't care about race swapping, but shut your mouth if it goes the other way.
Yeah.
If they fucking cast, if
Yeah.
tomorrow they cast a Latino character, if Miles from fucking Spider-Man is cast as a white kid in the next fucking movie, you shut
like
your mouth.
Elijah Wood.
You don't
plays-
you don't fucking complain about it because you had no issue when it was the opposite.
Yeah.
So fucking don't be a hypocrite and go along with it. I don't give a shit. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't care.
Yeah, because if the argument
I don't
is
care.
if the argument is it's a fictitious character, it could be any race. Then if it's a fictitious character, then
Well,
even if it's
yeah.
black in the comic books, then it can be
Well,
white
'cause
in the
then-
movie or whatever, right?
I've seen that argument too, where it's like when race is integral to the character, then it matters.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I get it.
like Luke Cage, you can't cast him as a white guy.
Yes, you can.
Captain,
Luke Cage is a white guy, isn't he?
he's
No.
a black guy.
Yeah.
Mike Coulter.
Like maybe like.
I'm thinking about
John
Mortal
Cena or
Kombat. Are you
something.
talking about Mortal
John
Kombat?
Cena?
Marvel. Not Johnny Cage.
That's Johnny
Oh,
Cage.
Johnny Cage.
Please. Johnny Cage and Luke Cage. Two very
different people.
Very
Johnny Cage
different
could be
people.
black, but Luke Cage could not be white.
Shit. There you go.
Yes, You're very
I
welcome.
was like, wait,
So-
did I fucking miss something here?
Not to also be confused
Cage?
with Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage should just play both of
Who
them.
is the real
Just to
Cage,
make
by
it
the
easy.
way?
Love that.
The real
Yeah.
Cage.
Nick Cage plays Luke and he plays Johnny Cage.
All at the same time.
He plays all the Cages.
Oh, apparently Carl Urban is apparently
I saw that. Yeah.
in talks to play
Which-
Johnny Cage.
I can.
Oh, I mean Carl Urban, dude, he's a fucking.
Out of all the cast of the boys, though, I could have gone with someone else as Johnny Cage, other than Carl Urban. But I
I
mean,
love the boys.
that-
And Carl Urban.
Oh, the boys, great. That's
Oh, we
a
should
great
discuss the
superhero TV show.
boys. Yeah, that's fucking.
But it's not
amazing.
over yet. We got
It's
one
not.
more
The new
season, right?
No, it's several.
7 more seasons?
They got a spin-off show too.
God damn it!
it's on Disney Plus. You
Finish
gotta
it!
watch
It's on Prime.
It's a holiday special.
During the fucking cartoon.
You gotta watch it to keep up. Sorry.
God damn it.
Anyway.
Anyways,
Yes.
you know what I want to do is I want to swap races with you guys. Oh, we're all the
Oh,
same fucking race.
so
God
we're
damn it.
I thought we were just hugging. Oh, this is a group hug.
Technically, we're the same ethnicity, even though we're of different skin colors. Yeah, isn't that
which,
crazy
which
fucked up?
ultimately has led to
Well,
different experiences
There's a lot
for all
of
of us.
Well, I'd argue I'm the dark.
Oh wow,
This-
guy, really do, really do.
I take
You
that
can refer to
This has been my
Circle
favorite
that back.
episode of you, I think.
I know.
Circle that back.
No, yeah,
Artificial
I mean-
ink in my skin.
yeah. No, I mean, again,
I don't give a shit.
man. I don't give a shit. It's entertainment. Fucking take it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. That's
Until
it.
Frodo,
That's
until
the-
Frodo
yeah,
is
that's
a
the thing,
woman,
too, if you don't
he
like it,
doesn't
don't
give a
watch
shit.
it.
Until
Yeah,
they
that's
fuck
a
with
big
Lord of the
thing.
Rings, then you will be hearing about me. I will be in the front line.
I'm excited for the Little
Fucking
Mermaid.
picketing. Sure. Yeah.
If you, go watch Little Mermaid, I'm probably not gonna watch that.
You agree
I
with
honestly, I fucking just hate the remakes on all these live action
Yeah,
remakes.
I've never been.
Whether they're black,
Maleficent
white,
was
Mexican.
fucking amazing.
Which one?
Which
Maleficent. But that's also
That
because they
wasn't
did
really a
separate-
remake.
Yeah.
That was
that's
its own
why.
story.
That's how it
I don't
works.
like any
Yeah.
of them.
I really like Aladdin. I really liked Aladdin. I felt like
They fucking race swapped the genie too. It's supposed to be a blue Robin Williams. What kind of fucking shit is that?
Did you forget the parts where he turned blue?
What? Will Smith was blue? I haven't seen. I didn't see
you
it.
haven't seen it?
Fucking-
God damn
I
it, you can't
refuse-
talk about it.
I refuse to watch it because I'm not gonna watch this shit.
I don't like any of the live actions, man.
Yeah,
I love
they don't.
Aladdin. Maleficent is
Lion
different, so I'll give you
King.
that. Lion King I was not a fan of.
Lion King,
Peter Pan wasn't that great.
It's the
I
lowest
just saw
rated.
Peter Pan actually,
The lowest
Recently,
rated of
yeah.
the live actions.
and they fucking did a race swapping with Tinkerbell. She's,
And Peter.
And Peter, that's right. He's
Yeah.
Hey, whatever.
Lowest rating of the
Yeah.
Like, it just wasn't engaging. Jude Law was the best part of that film.
Dalmatians.
It has,
Jude Law
like
is
even
good.
like the race thing isn't even a thing, but of course,
Jude
like what
Law
you mentioned
was in
earlier,
this.
like if you say you didn't like it,
Captain
people will
Hook.
jump to the race.
No
thing.
shit. Jude Law is Captain Hook.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
pretty
the
proud.
best thing of the film, and arguably the only really good thing.
I did like a spoiler alert here. I did
All the
like
background with them.
Yeah, I did
backstory?
like the background.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was cool.
I appreciated that.
they had a good thing
That's
there.
Jude Law?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Damn.
He was great.
That's good makeup and
Also,
prosthetics, man.
another fucking replacing a ginger because Peter Pan was a ginger
He
man.
was, yeah.
God damn it, man!
Oh, yeah, you was.
Ginger lives matter, motherfuckers. Ginger lives matter.
Right there.
I'm tired.
There's your Peter Pan.
I know this is the guy that
No,
does
It's
this.
not-
you clicked on the Lost Boy picture. Which one was the Peter Pan?
Well, and that was the thing.
Oh,
people
and
had
the
issues
Lost
with,
Boys
too.
had women.
Oh, girls.
They were
Yeah, yeah.
girls. And then
What?
he goes,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Lost Boys had girls.
Yeah, they were the lost kids.
Even they said they're like, oh, so you can't be a lost boy or whatever. I forgot what the line was.
If you're a girl.
That's
yeah,
the
you
law.
can't. That's
For real.
It's
That's
called
the
the
law.
Lost Boys. You can't
sir.
be a lost boy if you're a girl.
I'm waiting for
You're
the,
a lost girl.
I'm waiting for the remake of the Lost Boys vampire film. Who knows what'll happen? God,
Yeah.
who knows what'll happen?
Were
honestly.
they girls that identified as boys? Is that
Was
what's going on?
Rufio a girl in this
I'm not
one?
touching this.
Wasn't the lead?
Rufio.
Didn't the leader of the Lost Boys didn't he have like Down syndrome?
His name was Rufio,
No.
and he didn't
Yeah.
have Down syndrome.
For this movie?
Yeah.
Oh, in this one? I don't know.
Oh, not the leader. He wasn't a leader, but he was there. But yeah, he did. He was great.
Oh, that's cool.
It's cool seeing
People
like,
with disabilities.
representation.
Yeah, definitely. It's
Yeah.
awesome. I remember. Yeah.
I'm up for that. Anyway,
All right. Please ethnically represent this Morons Make Sense by clicking the like button and the subscribe button and that little bell that tells you you're getting notified and whatnot. And follow us. I never say this, but we do have an audio version of all this stuff. We're on
What?
Spotify and
No, we
Apple.
don't.
Yeah, we do.
No, we
do.
don't.
Some people just listen to the audio version. They've never seen our faces.
without
If
looking
you
at
listen
us,
to us on the car rides, we appreciate you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Uh,
shout out to all my friends that watch. I do appreciate you guys. I became recently aware that people I haven't run into in a while do watch the show.
Thank
That
you.
makes
That was
Thank
a
you
really
for
cool
watching.
thing. I appreciate you all. Natalie, I know you're a big time supporter and watcher of us. Thank you.
yeah,
I want to do a poll on my Instagram to see how many people actually do actively.
should have started at the begining of the episode, man.
Should've.
Very few people are here right now. There's one guy. What's up, man? Thank
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
After you went on your racist tirade.
Yeah.
Racist? What was I racist?
Oh, you're very racist.
I love
I was
all
gonna say
racists.
something, but yeah.
I truly enjoyed this episode. I just gotta say, this Arturo.
Good.
I loved it. I
Thank you,
loved
man. I
it.
appreciate
Uble,
it.
And Ruble, I'm here too.
not so much.
No. I don't give a shit.
I got a couple
I gotta
other
stick to
topics
my earlier message.
I want to
which
talk
is
about. I want to talk
shit.
about picnics. I want to talk about vampires. So
We'll leave those for the next time.
Yeah.
Anyways, like I said, like and subscribe and all that stuff. TikTok, blah 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 blah. You know the social media.
Yeah.
And as always,
have a dark
Dark Knight. Damn. So close.
actually have a white night. I'm gonna race swap.
Whoa!
I like that.